But then for Adou Thiero and Gabe Vincent, also a positive update on these two. According to JJ Redick, Adou Thiero is progressing, and the hope is that he will be able to make his Lakers debut during their current road trip. And yes, their current road trip. Not their next road trip, but this current one that only has a few games left. In fact, it only has 4 days left. So if he does make his Lakers debut and is able to play for them, that means that he'll either play in their next game at OKC, which is not very likely in my opinion, or their NBA Cup game in New Orleans on November 14th, or then for their final game on this road trip in Milwaukee on November 15th, which does happen to be the second night of a back-to-back. So if you ask me, that's probably the game they're lining him up to play in. I imagine they'll play pretty hard in their OKC game. Obviously, they want to win that and test their current strength against a top-tier opponent. Also would like to win an NBA Cup game. You know, there does happen to be a prize for that, and the fact that they are yet to be beat in the NBA Cup, obviously they're going to keep trying to win. But for the second night of a back-to-back, I wouldn't be shocked if they maybe rest both Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, maybe a starter or two with them, and that obviously would leave some major holes in their rotation that some other players have to fill, which could possibly be Adou Thiero. If he is in fact ready and Redick believes that he is ready to play for them, and even at this stage, then he might be able to make his Lakers debut in that game, which we have been eagerly anticipating. You know, we've talked about it here on the channel, even apart from the injury and when he might be able to come back, what he might be able to offer their team on the court too. You know, we're talking about a rookie here after all, so keep the expectations pretty low. You know, for every rookie that comes out and plays great immediately, there's plenty more that need over a year to work up to the NBA level, if they even make it that far to begin with. But for Adou Thiero, he obviously has some very tantalizing potential, especially on defense, or simply in regard to athletic ability for that fact, sporting a 40+ inch vertical, which he has shown off at times in their practice facility. The Lakers social media team even teasing that throughout the summer, him getting up for some monstrous dunks and getting his head directly at the rim. Obviously we want to see that in game action. So if he is able to get out there and actually get on the NBA court for an actual NBA game and against a real opponent, what could he offer their team? Well, I think he's kind of set to be more of a backup player for them and not play a ton of minutes, at least not right away. You know, at this point he's pretty limited offensively. Didn't even get to play in summer league, so wasn't able to test his three-point shot at the NBA level. You know, hasn't played a single NBA minute, neither at the NBA or G League, so the three-point line might be a bit of an adjustment for him. I mean, he wasn't a great three-point shooter throughout college, was a sub 30% three-point shooter, so that might be tough for him. Not saying that the speed will be tough for him to keep up with, but might be a bit of an adjustment for him too. I mean, I'm definitely not worried about him defensively or athletically. If anything, he might be a bit of a tough matchup for some current NBA players, both in regard to athletic ability and simply strength too. I mean, we're talking about a 6'7" guy that's over 230 pounds as a rookie. Definitely has an NBA frame and NBA body immediately, but the speed, the shooting, the motion on the court, and how different it is compared to the college level will be a bit of an adjustment here for Adou Thiero, and that will obviously take some time for him to get used to. But if you keep the role for him pretty limited and don't ask him to do too much, which I can't imagine they would, you know, primarily as an off-ball cutter offensively, maybe in the dunker spot and play at that 4-5 spot even. You know, he's very athletic and can even be a bit of a lob threat. If they do that and don't make him do too much shooting and be too much of a floor spacer, then he might be able to be okay offensively, while being able to be possibly pretty effective defensively too. You know, even at this point, he probably could take on a tough matchup. Maybe not the best player on the court and not capable of taking on a top 10 NBA player, but for the most part I think he will be able to hold his ground, will be able to keep up, and possibly make an impact on the court in the right matchup and in the right situation. But regardless, I'm very excited to watch him play. Obviously the athlete that he is, and if he gets out on the full court for a dunk, I'm obviously anticipating that. But simply to watch him play and get to see him wear the purple and gold, you know, we have yet to see that, neither throughout summer league, preseason, or the regular season, so this could be our first opportunity to get that with Adou Thiero during their current road trip. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one, and if you enjoyed the video, then I'll greatly appreciate it if you drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching, and have a great day or night.